Sponsored by Zentavos. Keep more of your money.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Ask Sloan. I'm Ben.
I'm Sloan.
And today we're going to be talking about a little known fact, and it's that we need community in order to thrive. I was having a conversation with one of my friends recently, and he moved to a new state, and he was just letting me know, like, man, it's been difficult. Not because there's not opportunity here, not because I'm discouraged about the setting, but because I'm in this new place with these new goals, but I don't have any community. And so that's one of the things that I think we need to definitely cover. And so,
Okay. I love it.
um, for me, coming from Jersey to Houston, finding community was extremely difficult, and it's still difficult at times. Um, but I find that when you explore like different hobbies and stuff like that, you tend to find some community. But even still, it's hard when you're navigating the level of depth in regards to like, this is the kind of friend that I could have that I could speak about deep things to. This is the kind of friend that I could have when I'm talking about more surface level things. And I just wanted to know, like, from your perspective, how have you kind of navigated finding your tribe, especially when making transitions in your life from one where you were before that we talked about in about 2 episodes back, so go watch that, to where you are now, right? And how has that changed?
So I think you're right. I think everybody like wants a sense of community, right? That's something that's built in us. None of us like being alone. Um, what you said it's been difficult for you to find your tribe here in Houston from New Jersey.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're still real young, right? 24, right?
Yeah. 25.
25 now. What? Come on. We had a birthday. Shoot. Um, so like I don't know how many schools you went to growing up, but like we went to elementary school, then we went to like junior high, then we went to high school. That's 3 schools. If you moved at all, like, you switched that, right? Then after high school, everybody splits. Okay. And then you go to college, maybe. Okay. If you don't go to college, you go to work. Okay. And then after college, then you split, maybe you go back home, maybe you got married in college, maybe like, a lot of different branches that can happen from there. But it's right around your age right now, 23 to 25 years old, where you kind of settled down to a spot, right? You came to Houston. What have you done to establish community?
I think for me personally, the thing that I did was start establishing my hobbies, the things that I was passionate about. So like fitness, going to church. Um, I would like hang out with different friends that like I would meet through those places, and then they would take me to, like, let's say, a new coffee shop. Now then I started to like go into coffee shops, and so then I met people in coffee shops. That's actually how I ended up meeting you. Um,
Not at a coffee shop.
not at a coffee shop, but through a friend that I met at a coffee shop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Um, and then at work as well. So like,
Are you still friends with that person?
honestly, we haven't talked in a while. I don't know
Okay.
what happened.
Okay. So what I heard from you is I like to work out, so I joined a gym,
Yeah.
and my faith is important to me, so I joined a church.
Yep.
Okay, and then from people that I met at those places, I began to like try to establish friendships,
Yeah.
and those friendships happened by setting appointed times to connect and conversate.
Yeah.
Okay, right, and those conversations were potentially about current events, potentially about historical events, potentially about what biographical. What was my life like? What
Yeah.
was your life like? Okay, and the more you go to events, experience life, and communicate about who you are with someone or a group, closer you become, the more connected you become, the more you develop bonds of trust and friendship and loyalty and camaraderie, and depending on, these additional circumstances, like security and things like that, right? Okay.
Yeah.
The less often you go to events, communicate, share history, experience life together, the less you are bonded, the less you have relation, the less right?
Yeah. You know,
So,
go ahead. Go ahead.
well, so do you feel like, you said it's difficult? Do you feel like you now have do you feel like you found your tribe, or you're still looking?
I feel like I'm still looking,
Okay.
and not a knock to anybody that I've met. I love all the
No.
people that I've met.
Oh, yeah.
The thing is like we tend to compare to what we've experienced in the past, right? So that's the first thing. And so my personal experience is that my friends that I have now, like from New Jersey, from New York, from Dominican Republic, these are people that I've known since I was like 7 years old. And so you establish a level of depth in relationship that becomes valuable and important. And when you lose that, then the inclination is where can I replace this now? Right? Because it's gone. And you can speak to people, but as we progress in age, what happens is that you get busy, they get busy, other people, they have their family. I tend to hang out with a lot of people that are much older than I am, and so a lot of them have families, they're married, they have like responsibilities, they can't just hang out. You know what I mean? And I'm obviously young. I want to like sometimes I just want to kick it. I just want to chill. Let's just watch a game. Let's watch TV. Not everybody can do that. That's fine. And so that's like one of the missing aspects. I will say that um, as you continue to go to these different places, at least for me, what I noticed is that people aren't necessarily as open to meeting new people, right? Because of, I think, the vulnerability of putting yourself out there. And that's not always the case. Like I meet people all the time. Literally, like last week, I met like five different people, right? That I got connected with. This morning, I met my neighbor, and we became cool. But those are all acquaintances, right? And so I guess what the difficult part is like real friendships are established over time and over trial and tribulation and like showing up for one another and stuff like that. And I haven't been here for that long, and so people don't really know you to that level of depth. And when people don't know you to that level of depth, you're not establishing such an intimate relationship like what you've had in the past. And since right now everybody's kind of moving around, and I know people that have moved to a bunch of different states. I moved, a lot of people in Houston recently moved here. I think that there is that hesitation where people want to get to know each other, but they're afraid of being seen.
Okay, and I think there's probably a whole lot more reasons than just that.
Hmm.
There are reasons like I'm like really busy. I already have a lot of people in my life. There's
Yeah,
there's drama in my life. I'm focused on doing something. There's a lot of different reasons people aren't able to go, extra levels of deep. Okay.
yeah,
A lot of us are carrying around a lot of trauma.
yeah. It's a
Okay.
huge one too.
From just from growing
Past
up or whatever,
relationships.
or past
Yeah,
relationships, so there's a lot of different stuff, right? But I think you've hit on a few different things. One is tribe, okay, slash community, okay. One is a friendship, okay, right. Um, there was something else that you were saying, but I think that they're different things, right? Okay, when I always go back to that self reflection. Okay, what do I need?
hmm,
What is it that I need? When we did our episode on friendship, I said I really try not to need friends. And that doesn't mean I don't need friends. I'm saying I try not to need them.
yeah,
Right? Like I try not to be in a position where I am without what I need.
Yeah.
right?
Because then you're trying to derive
Well, right now I'm
both things.
dependent.
Yeah.
Now I'm dependent. I'm all of a sudden I'm dependent on this outside force that's gonna let me down.
Yeah.
Like I'm actually really good at being a really good friend, but that doesn't mean that I'm always gonna be available. I got a wife and 3 kids and a couple of businesses and all kinds of stuff. And like I might just be able to like do a phone call, you know?
Yeah.
Like we might have to text for a couple of minutes. Like, will I be here for you? Will I answer you? For sure. Will we do lunch? Will we do all this? Like, absolutely. You know what I mean? But if you want to spend time with me, what do you need to do?
Give you money? I'm
No.
just kidding.
If you pay me. No. No, if you want to spend time with me, you need to be where I am doing what I'm doing with the same goal in mind.
Mm.
That's a tribe. Where's my people that are where I am doing what I'm doing, trying to achieve the same thing? Okay. So you go to the gym, great. You're meeting a bunch of people that have the same goal but different. I'm
Yeah.
working on arms, I'm working on legs. I want to be a bodybuilder, man. I just want to lose 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay. And most of those people are like, bro, I am late. I'm like, you look good, bro. Like I'm out. I wish I could look like you one day, but I gotta go,
Yeah.
I mean, that's not church is a different thing. Now, church, the big church, great. Come and hear the word, but you're not going to develop community. You got to get into the small group. You got to get into the Bible study. I'm in a Bible study
Yep.
every Tuesday morning. I was the youngest one in the group for a long time. I'm not anymore, but I was
Must have been
by like
disappointing.
20 years.
Sheesh.
Okay. I went there for mentors. I went there for people doing what I want to do, that have the character that I want to have. Like, who are you hanging out with? I'll show you what you're going to be. Right.
Yeah.
So go and find where there's a group of people that are better than you so that you can become but make sure they're what you want, right? So that you can
Yeah.
become like them. Don't go get involved with a group of people that are going places you don't want to go. Does that make sense? Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But it's got to be a small group too. Like my daughter, so funny. And not funny like haha, but just like how like life brings different topics to you.
Yeah.
Right. So my daughter's in college. Okay. She turns 21 in April. And it was 2 days ago. She called me and she said, Dad, like, how do you find your people? Like it was like
Wow.
the exact same question. Okay. And like she's in Georgia, having like the same problem. Like she's in this class. It's a business class, business art class. And she's like really excited about this project. And it's a group project. And so she's like talking to them and talking to her peeps and like just really excited, like, hey, we should talk about this next meeting. And not everybody in the group is like that excited.
Yeah.
And she's like, man, that like I want to find the people that are going to be excited with me,
Wow.
And so I'm gonna tell you what I told her. Like, you got to recognize where you are, and if you're in transition, like I told her, like, hey, sweetie, like you're gone from college in a couple of years, like you're gonna find your tribe in your next location, where you go settle down at. Okay. Does that mean there's not a tribe there for you? Sure, but the whole school is not your tribe. It is your like whole school tribe, but not really. Okay.
Yeah.
Like you do bond on the fact that, hey, we go to SCAD, but you don't, that's not a tight enough bond, right? If you were in a sorority, okay, then that would be a much, much tighter bond. Okay. And you pay for that. Okay. So
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm paying for it. I'm getting branded. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a lifelong relationship. We have like rules and core values and all this stuff wrapped up in who we are. Like
Yeah.
it transforms your identity into that sorority or that fraternity. Same thing with army and stuff like that. But that's the small group. So the big group, the small group. My daughter wants to be a writer, so I talked to her about how J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis used to be in a writers guild in England, right? And they are some of the most successful,
Yeah.
writers
C.S. Lewis has some
in
of the most
history.
beautiful books
I
I've
mean,
ever
do
read
you
in
feel
my
what I'm
life.
saying? So, but they were in a club together and they were helping each other
Wow.
get better at being writers. And like, moving into like some nuances to this, like being in a tribe doesn't always mean that it's like flowers and fluffy bunnies, happy and joy. You know what I mean? Like like there was criticism in that group.
Yeah.
That group was there to hold each other accountable and be critical of each other's work so they could have better writing. Some clubs are going to be, frou-frou. You know what I mean? Like, hey, let's just go have fun. You know what I mean? But other clubs are going to be like, man, bro, we're trying to go to the moon, bro.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's going to be hard. Like, somebody might die. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
this is like, okay, so someone back it out to wherever you are, there is a tribe. Since we're all looking for it, it is there. Okay. But you need to know what you need. What do I need? What am I actually trying to get? I needed my wife first. We did that episode, right? Like I
Yeah.
needed companion. That's what I'm gonna say. So you had tribe, friendship, companion. Okay. If you need a companion, a tribe ain't gonna do it. Right? If you need a friend, a companion ain't gonna do it, right?
Yeah.
Like if you need like depending on what kind of relation you're looking for, like what do you need? Like I go to Bible study because I need that mentorship. I need men who have walked this path before me to give me the wisdom that I'm looking for to be the best husband, to be the best father. To they help me be better, and we do it through faith and in a study of the Word, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but then I'm in this other club. It's called Vistage, okay, and I pay for that, okay, and that's a business CEO club, right? And it's a whole bunch of founders, CEOs, small business owners that they're like this is like a boardroom, and we come and we process business problems, we learn about new technologies and new things for business. Like that's where we go to a hold each other accountable to our goals, b help each other achieve those goals, c learn more about being the best CEO we can be, right? So if you want tribe, you got to just go find the people that do what you're trying to do and where that club is and when it meets. If it meets on Thursdays at 4, you need to be there at Thursday at 3:50. Okay? Like that's how you find it. Now, once you're in a tribe, there's a few things that are going to happen. The first thing that's going to happen is a little bit of hazing. You're going to go in there and somebody leads that tribe. Somebody's running that tribe, whether it's like an actual position, president of the tribe, or whether it's just the person with the most influence, but somebody runs that tribe. That person generally gets a little wary of new members
Mm.
because are you going to follow my lead or are you going to challenge my lead?
Mm.
Okay. And that's potentially
Or are you like poison to the tribe?
or you poison the tribe. I'm going to be protective, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And some of that is not a lot of this stuff is just like our innate carnal, selves, right? Not like overtly like, ooh, let me get my,
Yeah.
I'm gonna interview every person that comes in. Like it's just subconscious. It's just like, hey, this is kind of like it's like when you become a dad or something, like all of a sudden you become a new man. Like it is
Mm.
different. Like my brain was different. The day after my wife was like, I'm pregnant, I was a completely different man the next day. Completely wrong. Okay. So anyway, so there's going to be some hazing. So you need to go in there and be ready for not to be welcomed with open arms.
You're earning people's trust.
You're going to need to earn people's trust.
Yeah.
And don't look at that like that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's actually a good thing.
It's a great sign.
It's a protective element, and you want it there because once you are welcomed into the tribe, you want that tribe to protect you too.
Wow.
Right. Okay. So recognize that little hazing thing's going to happen and just go deal with it. Now, if it's abusive, run.
Yeah, that's definitely not the tribe.
Yeah, I'm not
It's
drinking a
abusive.
gallon of bourbon in front of you. I'm gonna die. No.
Yeah.
Thanks for playing. Hey, no, I'm married. I'm not going in there because I might do something that I could get in trouble.
Yeah.
Like no, I ain't going. You're not my tribe either, right? Are these the people that are doing what you want to do and headed in the direction that you want to be headed in? Okay. And in my opinion, it should not be based on who's cool. It should be based on accomplishment. It should be based on purpose, right? It should be based on who am I and what am I trying to do with my life? Okay. And so that self-reflection of understanding what do I need and where can I get that? Do I need a tribe? Okay, great. So I think tribes should be around what you're trying to accomplish. Okay. Is there a workout tribe, a fitness tribe for you? Yeah, but it's probably not like at the gym. Okay. it's probably some people that you hang out with and develop different workout routines and things like that and whatever. But when you're at the gym, you're working out. Like,
Yeah.
you ain't hanging out, right? So, is there a fitness tribe? There probably is a fitness tribe, and it also depends. Like, there's definitely the cycling club. There's definitely the run club.
Yeah,
There's
all
definitely
those
there's
clubs.
definitely those clubs. Okay, and there might even be the weightlifting club or whatever. But you just got to figure that out. Church is church, but small group at church is a tribe. So there are tribes you can pay for, and there are tribes you can join. When I first started in business, I used a thing called meetup.com. And you go to meetup.com and you can find any number of tribes and you go join them. Like I joined a bunch of startup tribes. Like back in the day there were also there were uh so it was chat rooms, but then there were forums. Okay. So like a forum would almost be like a tribe, and you join the forum, right? And like it was just a messaging board, okay, right, okay. So you really just it's not as hard as you think, but the problem is knowing what you need.
Yeah. You need to know yourself.
You need to know yourself. Then you need to go in and be okay with the hazing and everything. Then the last thing is you need to recognize that there's going to be some people in that tribe that you don't like, and there's going to be some people in that tribe that don't like you. But that doesn't mean there's not respect or trust. You just don't like each other. Maybe it's a personality conflict. Maybe it's jealousy. Guess what? It's imperfect people, right? Okay. Like a lot of people get surprised when they find sinners at church.
Yeah.
I'm a little sorry. Sinners are everywhere. Especially in church. It's a
Yeah.
hospital.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the whole point of going.
That's like the point, right? So you got to get over a few things. Like if your expectations are to have relationships that feed your ego and your pleasure sensors, and like, hey, I can call them at 3 o'clock in the morning and cry and they'll be there for my shoulder. Like, what I mean, do you know what I mean? Like, what do you need? Okay. What do you need? Okay. And
Yeah.
so what I started with is I really try not to need anything.
How do you not need anything?
Well, I try to get as much of it from God as possible. And then the second thing I try to get from my wife, that's my companion. I am committed to you for the rest of my life. And I believe in that and she believes in that.
Okay.
Did we always get along? We did not.
But for the rest of us single folk that don't have a wife,
Okay. True that. But again, I try to get what I need from God, right? Okay. Like we've talked about my time away. Okay. I was,
you
locked
had a lot of needs there.
I was locked in a cage with a
Yeah.
bunch of people, you know what I mean, that were not necessarily the friendly type, you know what I mean? So, like, where did I invest my time in my relationship with God, right? So then, if I can get everything that I need from Him, now that I asked for my wife from Him, so I got my companion through that relationship,
Wow.
if I'm I'm hopefully going to go to South by Southwest pretty soon. There's a whole bunch of tribes there, and that's all around technology and entertainment and whatever. Like
Yeah.
the whole thing is a tribe is also not going to satisfy all your friendship situations. You're going to go to a tribe. There's going to be one or two people in that tribe that are going to be capable of being a close friend of yours. And I would just implore you to be a great friend to people, and you will find the people that will be a great friend to you. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So when I say figure out what it is you need and then don't need like try not to need as much, that doesn't mean hey, I'm lonely. Well, if I'm lonely, I need someone to spend some time with, okay? But I also need to address the loneliness issue. It's okay to be lonely sometimes. There's a deeper problem if I cannot get rid of this aloneness that is causing me to make bad decisions. Self-reflection,
Yeah.
right?
It's a you hit the nail with the hammer there when you said it's very important to try to not need as much. I think that's one of the things that I realized as well. Like when you can derive as much as possible from God, you don't need as much from other people. But the moment that you sever that connection from God, then you start to look for everything that God could provide you in other people. And people are flawed. Like they can't provide to you what you're looking for all the time because they also need. And you can't provide to them. You can't pour from an empty cup. right? And so you're trying to pour into somebody with something you don't have, and then they're trying to pour into you what little they have. And so you're just exchanging droplets at that point. But then once you get that connection back to God, then all of a sudden you're filled. And now you can pour into everybody's cup like nothing. And it doesn't even bother you because you don't need anything anymore. And that's in the Bible as well, right? What is that verse? What's that verse like? Um the river, what's it? Let me look it up actually. I'm looking because I'm not about to butcher God's word.
Don't butcher the Lord's word.
Um,
So it's not like you can become completely full to where you don't have needs. It's about understanding those needs, taming those needs, and getting those needs fulfilled by the source first. Okay. I still needed a companion. I still want close friends. I still and I- and because I got to a place where I'm not frantic about it. I'm not obsessed about it. I'm not depressed about it. I'm not anything about it. Like this is where I'm at and I'm going to set my sights on something. I'm going to go after it until I have it and then I'm going to, rinse and repeat. Give it to me.
Here it is. Anyone who believes in me may come and drink, for the scripture declares rivers of living water will flow from his heart. There it is, man.
There it is.
There it is. And it's like so true because like that connection really does fill you in a way where you didn't even think that you were thirsty. You didn't
Correct.
think that you were thirsty for love. You didn't think that you were thirsty for validation or any of these things. And then when you start to get that thirst quenched, you're like, oh, all of a sudden I feel different. All of a sudden, those things that I felt were hurtful don't matter anymore.
Well, then also you then understand purpose.
Yes.
Whether you know what your purpose is or not, you understand purpose. You feel fulfilled without anxiety, right?
Yeah.
We talked about that, right? Be anxious for nothing, but through prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your request be made known to God, and the peace that surpasses all understanding will guard your hearts through Christ Jesus,
And then,
for sure.
yeah, man. I honestly think that it's really important for people to take that moment of self-reflection. And a lot of the time what happens is that we are walking blindly, just doing things, and we don't realize until a significant circumstance happens that we do need to take time to reflect on ourselves and the things that we've done and really understand who we are. Because like what I was saying earlier is like who you were before, you got locked up is completely different than who you are now, right? And not obviously like at your core, you're the same person, right? But like all of those trials and tribulations have changed you. You might not be able to hang out with your tribe from back then.
Well, funny thing, funny thing, I still have some friends that are from that world, but we all changed.
That's
You know,
amazing.
we all grew up and decided that wasn't the world we wanted to live in. And made the changes that we needed to make to live in the world that we do want to live in. I mean, that's the thing. Like, are you just reacting to the world, or are you responding to it? Are you responding to
Mm.
who you are and what you want? And if you don't know who you are and what you want, that's okay. Like you are who you are, and you can become whoever it is you want to become. So until you I don't wait for it. Like, who do I want to be? That's who I'm gonna be. If I want to understand who I am, I just need to look in the mirror. This is who I am. Okay, great. What do I like about this person? What do I not like about this person? What do I want to be better? What am I willing to look at? Right? And look at the hard things. Look at the things that are critical. I'll give you we'll end with this. Growing up, uh yeah, I was a know-it-all. I had to be right. I argued with everybody, and but that's not the way I looked at it. The way I looked at it is I want to be right. And so I want to know the truth. Okay. And so if somebody like didn't know and I did, well, let me share that with you, but nah, they wanted to be right. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just as much as I wanted to be right. So I didn't look at it like I wanted to be right. I looked at it like they wanted to be right. Okay. But one day I asked a buddy of mine, I said, hey, because I lost a lot of friends for just being that guy,
Yeah.
and I was like, man, bro, do I have to be right all the time? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, man, ooh. And I was like, okay, well, let me think about that for a second. Because here's the thing about self-reflection. Like, so now what am I going to do with that? Now that I'm asking for the mirror, now what am I going to do with that? Okay, he's my boy. He's being honest. Like, it's true.
Yeah.
That's what's up. And then I asked, okay, cool. So let me ask you this. But am I right? Usually? Yeah. Okay. So people don't like the fact that I'm right all the time.
Yeah.
Okay? They just don't. But I like people and I want to be their friend. So then what behavior do I need to change? I need to stop arguing. I need to stop telling people they're wrong. I need to let people believe or think whatever they want to think. And I want to wait.
Yeah.
Okay. Like instead of me arguing with you, nah, that's not right. Whatever. That's bad.
Yeah.
Right now it's ask Sloan. Right.
Yeah.
So if you don't ask me, I ain't telling you nothing. I'm going to just let you sit in it, bro. It's cool. If that's what you want to believe, the sky is pink, I'm going to tell you it ain't, but not until you ask. Right.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't give unsolicited advice. I don't correct nobody. I don't any of that. If I'm in a teaching position, I will teach because that's our relationship. But if we don't have that relationship, you talk all day about whatever you want to talk. I'll be like, man, it sounds good. But if you want to ask me, and if I don't know, I'm gonna tell you, man, I don't know. But if I know, I'm gonna be like, well, from my experience, this is my understanding of it, and if it's right, great. And if it helps, awesome.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, who cares? But the point is I'm constantly trying to figure out what I need to be, who I want to be, and finding the people that are trying to do the same.
Yeah.
And then I'm hanging out with them where they are doing what they're doing. And if I'm doing what I'm doing and ain't nobody hanging out with me, I ain't sad about it because this is where I want to be. Right. But if I want to be with people, then I'm going to find people doing what I want to do and I'm going to go do it.
Yeah. That's honestly, it's extremely wise. I would say, and I heard this saying, it's like, uh, a wise man can learn more from a foolish question than the foolish man can learn from a wise answer. And like what you're saying is biblical, right? Because it says that a foolish man sees himself in the mirror, and when he looks away, he forgets his own reflection. And so, what's the point of wasting your words on people that don't want to listen?
Yeah, that's not casting your pearls before swine. Right?
Exactly.
Like again, I help people that want help and that believe that I have the help that they need. Right. But I don't have the help that everybody needs. I can only share from my experience. Right. Because we were all born not talking.
Yeah.
I mean, and I try to tell people all the time, like, you weren't born knowing accounting. So don't feel bad that you don't understand debits and credits.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Well, we've run out of time again. It's been
Sure.
wonderful. We got to give them a little wisdom of the week. So the wisdom of the week is if you're looking for community, find people that are trying to achieve what you're trying to achieve or enjoy an activity that you enjoy and then go connect. And you can there's all kinds of resources out there for that. Absolutely. And then when you go and you join, these clubs or these tribes, then just go and just be the best friend you can be to them and you will find a lot of friends and get through that little awkward phase in the beginning. Don't worry about that. That ain't personal when everybody dealt with that. And then just recognize like drama is everywhere. Stay away from it, but just recognize it's there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Right? Come on.
All right. You heard it here first, folks. See you next time. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that notification button.